Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our resource management session. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We hope you find it valuable. Today's session is being recorded, so it will be available on demand later if anyone needs to drop out early or wants to rewatch any of it. Today's session, we'll be covering resource types, how to create a type of resource, synchronizing your trainer's calendars with Exchange Calendar, and providing a trainer with access to the My Teaching Trainer portal. So, my name is Lauren, and today I have Jack with me. We are your optimized customer success managers. So first we'll be covering an overview of resource types. Your resources are additional items that you may want to add onto your courses. Although you can use resources for whatever items suit your platform, most people at a minimum have trainers and venues, but equipment and catering also really popular items. This is really useful when using the platform to track things like the profitability of a course, because you can add all of your overheads to the course cost and deduct it from the income generated by the delegates. As we said, one of our most popular resource types is venues, and there are two types of venue, internal and external. An example of an internal venue for accessplanit would be our offices because we already own them and we don't need to hire them from anyone. An example of an external venue for us would be Revolution to Cuba, where we had our Connect event in March. Adding venues into your course dates and workflows can be really useful to track things like capacity and keep trainers and delegates informed, particularly if it's likely to change before the course starts. As with venues, there are two types of trainers, internal and external. An example of an internal trainer for us would be someone from our support team who is teaching a report writer masterclass. An example of an external trainer for us would be if we hired a third-party person to come and teach the masterclass on our behalf. You can give the My Teaching access to both types of trainers with their own login, and they can view their upcoming courses that they're assigned to.
Oh, thanks, Lauren. So we've kind of covered over the basics there of resources. We're going to jump into a bit more in the platform now, show you a few things. We'll show you the data grid for resources, but we're going to do a few more not advanced actions, but things that maybe you don't know about. So we'll show you how to create a new type of resource. So if you're totally new to resources, where they sit and how to create them. We're going to look at providing the trainers with My Teaching access. So how do we actually do that? We spoke about it, so we'll show you actually how to do it and what that looks like for them. And then finally, we're going to show you the Exchange calendar integration, how you can set up your Exchange calendars with your trainers. The Exchange integration is an extra module. It's not included with the course subscription, so there is a cost associated with it. But there's real benefits to using it because it just means that your trainers' appointments with the training go straight into their Outlook calendar. So as soon as they're assigned, it goes into their calendar. They know exactly what they're doing. So we're going to jump into the platform now, and we'll start with just creating a new resource, which is nice and easy. So this is just one of our test platforms that we use. So we're going to first go into the resources data grid. So on the left-hand side, you can see you've got this resources option here, and this is just a collapsible column. When you open that up, you've then got manage and calendar. So if you're new to resources, if you click manage, this is going to basically be a data grid of all of your resources that you've got in the platform. So it doesn't just have to be venues and trainers. You can see here we've got PPE, you've got study materials. This just shows you can have literally anything as a resource. So while study materials and PPE isn't standard within accessplanit, you can actually create those that are custom for your platform using custom fields and custom list items. So we're going to jump into those in a little bit of time. To add a resource, you literally use the green button at the top here. You click add a resource. And then from here, this gives you the options to, in effect, create that resource. What is it that you're wanting to have? So you choose the account first. If you're a multi-training provider, here you will select which account it's associated with, and then a label. So this one could be, we'll use first aid kit. So if you're running a first aid course, you'll need a first aid kit. What type is it then? This is where you can then choose what you've got. So you can see here you've got your standard external and in-house venues and trainers. But then we've got extra ones here like PPE, study materials, and training materials. So as I said, you can create whatever you want. So it's relevant to you. You can put any costs in, how many of them you've got, and then any of the extra information you need. You literally then press save, and it will then just save that for you, and you can add that as a resource then to any of your courses. That's kind of the basics of how you set the resources up. What I want to show you is the My Teaching Access. So My Teaching Access is really, really good to be able to give your trainers access to the platform, to be able to do more of the admin tasks, but also to give them access to the platform and hopefully take away a bit of the work for your administrators. So we'll use, as an example, one of our in-house trainers. So we'll use Sarah as an example. So as Lauren said, anyone that's in-house or external is able to have My Teaching Access. So it doesn't matter if they're one of your in-house trainers or someone that there's a third party that you contract in. To set it up, you literally right click and then you click edit. So we're going to edit the resource. And then what we're going to do when the resource loads, we're going to scroll to the very, very bottom. And this here is where you can select the My Teaching option. So here you've got My Teaching Access. So initially it would look like this. You wouldn't be able to, it would just have the checkbox here with none of the drop-down options. As soon as you click it, you then get all the other options that are available for your My Teaching Access. So My Teaching Access isn't a static role and everyone has the same level of permissions. You can give different trainers different levels of access depending on what you want them to see. So for example, some of the options here are set and availability. So do you want your trainers in their access to be able to tell you when they're not available? For your in-house trainers, maybe not. Your external trainers, maybe you would need them to. They can see the file store. So if they want to see documents that are relating to the course, so any manuals, they can be able to download those. Generating registers and sign-in sheets. If you use those, they can generate them from their access too. Modifying the course status is a really popular one. So basically, at the end of the course, your trainers can then, in fact, complete that course. So it takes away your admins having to do that manual work afterwards. The trainer on the course can say, yeah, we've completed this course, mark who's attended, and it's marked in the platform. They don't have to pass a piece of paper or register over to your admin team to then do. It makes it a lot easier. And then also you can choose if you want to give them access to add delegates to the courses, replace delegates, add and view notes. Depends on really what you want them to see. Some people want them to be able to view notes, some people don't. You may want your internal ones to view notes, but external trainers to not. So what's really nice with this is that you can literally see exactly, you can give them access what you want them to give access to. So we'll save that for Sarah. And what we'll do is I'll show you how it looks. So this will map to their resource as a trainer maps to a user account. So when Sarah logs into the platform, she will then get the different options based on her level of access. So she can be a learner, so she'll get the portal access, but she then also will get the My Teaching access. So because she's a developer, she's still got all these options. We can see here on the left, they also get this My Teaching option. So if you drop this down, you can then see what they get access to. So your trainers wouldn't have any of these other options. They would just have My Teaching. So if they click courses, you can see here, this will be in effect the courses that Sarah is down to teach. So they can change the columns. They can see exactly what they want, like an admin can. So if they're not interested in the trainer IDs, the train names, because they know it's them, or the spaces left, they can get rid of them and press those and make those changes. From here, they can see information about the course. So they can see who's on the course, the delegate information, but they can only see bits about the delegate, such as their name. They can't see lots of personal information. So it's protecting those users' data too. Confirmations is another one that is something that some people use, some people don't. Trainer confirmations is where you add a trainer to a course and then they can accept or reject that. They will then see those listed in here. So not everyone uses that, but if you're interested in using it, let us know. That's where they would appear in here for a trainer to be able to see the requests that they've had and how they responded. And then finally, they get a calendar option. So from here, they in effect have the normal calendar like we have in the platform, and they can change their view, say to a month view, and they'll be able to see on here exactly who has what courses they've got and when, what exactly they are, what they're doing, where they're at on certain days, and be able to get more information from this view. So it's really good for My Teaching Access to just give trainers a bit more information. They don't have to rely on admins giving them that information all the time. So it's really beneficial. There's no extra cost to this. This is included within your subscription. There's no extra licenses needed. So it's really beneficial. If you're interested in diving in more into it, drop us an email and we can set up a call and kind of walk you through it a bit more in detail and how it could work for your business specifically. So we're going to jump back in. Next, we're going to talk about is the Exchange integration. So we're going to jump into another platform because we've got it set up in another platform. And what I want to show you is how simple it is to get it set up. So the first things you've got to do is you've got to set it up within your administration profile. So within the administration, there's a setting for Exchange integration, which you can see right here. When you click into it, you then need the master information about your account. We'll take that after the car secreting, but that's where you set up the information basically in the admin panel. From there, when you set it up, every internal trainer, so this is only for internal trainers because they would need an email address that is the same as your platform. So for us, you need an accessplanit.com email address to make this work. So a third party, unless they've got one of your email addresses on your Outlook account, won't be able to use this functionality. So that's something to bear in mind. When you have this active, another option comes up on the left-hand side here called integration, Exchange integration. You literally click that. And then from here, this gives you the options to turn it on per trainer. So you don't have to have it on for every trainer if you don't want it to. And you can also choose the direction for each trainer individually. So with Exchange integration, you get 3 options. You can have it pushing out of accessplanit. So any appointments in accessplanit will push into that trainer's Outlook calendar. You can have it pulling in from the trainer's Outlook calendar into accessplanit. So if they've got appointments, that's going to pull into your calendar so you can see where they're unavailable, or you can have it as both. It's really easy. You literally pop the trainer's email in, and then you turn the calendar on with a tick box, and then you choose the direction. As you can see, you've got in, out, or none. And you press update, and then it will resync. The sync engine will do it, and then it resyncs every about 15 minutes. So when you add a trainer to a course, it's then going to push that appointment straight into their Outlook calendar if this is turned on. So it's a really nice feature to be able to make sure that trainers know where they are, what they're teaching, when they're teaching it, without them necessarily having to log into the platform or ask your admins. They have it in their calendar already. So it's a really nice functionality. One final thing I want to show you is the how you can add custom items to that list of resources. So we're going to be looking at using custom list items. So this is not isolated to resources only. You can see here we've got notes. If you use products and services, you've got purchase statuses, communication types. This sits in all different areas. And it's really easy to add. You literally use the green button and it's add a custom list item. So this is where we're going to be adding things like not just trainers or venues. You saw that we had the PPE and the study materials. If you've got something that you need to add in, you can add that in here. So from here, you can choose the item type. So as you can see, there's a huge list of different things that you can choose from. So this is where you're going to be adding those in. You've got, as I say, you've got all the different types that you can use on. You literally select the option that you want. So you can use like task type, for example, survey type. You select the option that you want, and then you type in the text of what it is. So maybe like study material, for example. You want to enable it, and then you click save and close, and that adds that into the platform. It's literally as simple as that. That then will appear in that list of items that you've got to be able to choose from in the future. The other thing I wanted to show you is the resource types. So this is where we're going to add those in. So the custom list items is for other areas of the platform, sorry. Just to make that clear, this is specifically for resource types in the resource types option. You can see here you've got all the different options that we've got. So we've got PPE, study materials. You literally click add a resource type. And very similar to the last one, you type in the label of what it may be. So I'm going to pop in first aid equipment because we have a lot of that. So I'm going to have that as a type itself. The parent resource type, you can search in here now, or you can use the select option. So if there's a parent resource that you want to attach it to, so we'll attach it to equipment because it's equipment based. And then enabled and protected. So enabled means it's active to be used. Protected means it can't be changed. When you save that, that's all done. So you know we've got first aid equipment. If I go back into resources, into manage, and then click add resource, from here, you'll now be able to see that if I click type, I've now got first aid equipment. So if I'm going to put in here now my first aid kit, I can now select first aid equipment as what that type is. So it just means that you can categorize it a lot more. It's easy it keeps your platform nice and tidy just by adding those different options in. So you've got custom list items, which is going to be for your notes and for your purchases. And then your resource types is going to be specifically for your adding different resource types in. So as I said, as I mentioned here, first aid equipment. That's kind of everything that we wanted to go through today within the platform. Hopefully you got some use out of it. Hopefully you found it beneficial with the with the My Teachers especially. I think that's a really good feature that's not really known about, and is something really beneficial that you can use. And as I say, there's no extra cost to it, and it gives a bit more autonomy to your trainers. So that's what we're going to cover today. If there's any questions, the chat and the Q&A are open. Please pop them in there. Whilst any questions come through, just wanted to go through upcoming events. So as always, all our events are on our webpage. There's a link there. The next things that we've got coming up is we've got a workshop on the 14th of May. This is going to be with Sarah from our support team, and that's going to be around creating certificates and sign-in sheets. So again, another feature that some people know about, some people don't, is using the document templates. You can create certificates and sign-in sheets that send out automatically from the platform. Saves so much time. You don't have to do it manually anymore. So there's a workshop on the 14th of May at 2 o'clock, and that's free to attend. And then we have our next fundamentals class is on the 7th of May. So that's this coming next week, actually. That's at 10 a.m. and that's £150 a delegate. Both of these can be booked on the webpage above, where all of our training can be booked on. And then just one final thing to mention today. Hopefully you've all seen, we deployed our latest release, which is 8.0 to all platforms. It's a big release with lots of new features, and there's just some of the highlights there. So multi-factor authentication is now on your platform. There's also some updates to checkout, some really nice user interface updates, some trainer updates, how trainers work within the platform, and as I say, plus more. There's absolutely loads. What we'll do is we'll pop in the chat the link to our guide, which tells you everything that's new in this release. And there's a lot in there. So if you're interested in any of that information that's been released, and you want to know how to get MFA set up, you've got a few more questions about anything, just pop us an email, and we'll be able to help. Just want to make sure you'd all seen that, because there's a lot in there. Hopefully something that will benefit you too. And that's everything for today. As I said, the Q&A and chat is open, so we'll be on for a few minutes if there's any questions. Other than that, have a great day, and enjoy the rest of your week.